This is a computer program called Unity, and it is used to help you, well, code games. Now, I've tried to use this before, but you watch 100 tutorials and you don't remember anything from them, and then you get bored and you stop learning or whatever, and then you forget everything, and then you retry, and then it repeats. Anyway, I'm gonna try to successfully create a game. So yeah, so I'm gonna create a new project, give it a helpful name, and select 3D. Now while the while the area to make the game loads, the idea for this game that I'm gonna create is basically there is a forest and you're in the forest and you can walk around in the forest, right? And it's like a puzzle game, so there's like landmarks, and you can go to those landmarks, get clues and tools or whatever, and then you put it into this padlock or whatever at the end. So I haven't really decided how it's gonna go, and then you can escape the forest, but like that would just be too easy. So there's also a spooky creature in the forest trying to hunt you down. Yeah. And like, you know how lots of games the same as this, they'll have like an area where you'll encounter said creature, and most of the time you have to run and try and escape it. Now that's cool and all, and those games are fun, but you kind of know not to worry about said creature getting you until you get up to that spot. So the idea for this is we're gonna give the creature AI of sorts to just make it walk around randomly, but like in an area around the player. And if it sees the player, then it'll start chasing it. So like, apart from you having to solve the puzzle, you also have to be careful, and yeah. And I don't know, but there'll be some way that it'll get close, and there might be like, if you, I don't know, get a clue, it goes further back or something. And also with the forest, there's lots of other things with like games like this. They'll have they like to put you inside buildings, and there's walls and buildings, right? Now I could put you in a forest and have a fence around the forest where you can see the outside. But instead of doing that, I'll do what I don't know if you've ever played BeamNG Drive. You know how if you were to drive across a road and when you get to the end it kind of like puts the road back there, so it's like you're continually driving one way across an infinite road, if that makes any sense. Then you just do the same here, so you have a forest tile that you're standing on, and then some back and some forward. Now if you walk forward, the ones from the back go forward, so it's like you're always in the forest until you eventually escape, where from there it will still do the infinite thing if you're walking away from the gate, but if you walk towards the gate, then it would stop infinitely generating and you could escape. This also helps for the type of game that I'm making, because if it didn't infinitely generate and the gate was just there, then you could skip all of the actually figuring out and using your brain, and instead just walk to the exit, which is not as fun. Anyway, now that Unity has fully loaded, we can actually begin creating a game. Now, when I said before, like, I've tried to use this and then you forget, I meant entirely the coding bit, because I still know how to, well, move around. So, for most of this episode at least, it's just going to be creating a scene, right? It's not that hard. So first, we obviously want to create terrain. And I can't remember what one it is. There it is, terrain. So terrains are the ginormous. Oh, I don't know what that is. Anyway. Stop doing that out. So. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Anyway, so these are pretty big, and the camera doesn't really move fast enough. But with here, you can paint on these, so you can see like mountains, stuff like that. Anyway, we want to make foresty looking terrain, so you find something that looks good, and I think one of these changes something. Okay, so now I am making a tree because we have finished the terrain for the most part. Now, when I was making the terrain, couldn't really catch it that much, but I was playing around with like moving them, and you kind of have to reshape it all. So yeah, so interested. Anyway, now I'm trying to make a tree, and that's the main thing. So this is actually voiceover, because making a tree was pretty long for what it really was. It wasn't too much. And this isn't even going to be the final tree. So now I'm just figuring how the hell on earth the node system works with like pulling those things to make branches. Now there's actually a way to like automatically bend it. Like when I went and I looked, well that's at least how it looks like. I haven't watched any tutorials. But by the time we're back for the next video, which will be about player movement and terrain movement, the trees will be done like that, and we should also have ground materials to make it look better. So now I'm kind of figuring out how the manual system works, and it's kind of weird to play around. And in case you're wondering what that tiny plane is down there, it's a leaf, because you have to give the leaves individual textures. Now, I didn't know that, and there you go, I deleted it. But just trial and error to figure out how this works, which I don't need to do later on. And how I mentioned the play movement and stuff, that shouldn't take too long to come out. Like, but there's no chance like more than 20 people are gonna see that before like the next video comes out. Like the most amount of views I've even gotten is like 200 on a YouTube short, and on this it's been like 40, so I think I'll be safe. And in that one, player movement, terrain movement, all of that fun stuff. The one after that, creating like the landmarks and clues and stuff. The one after that, probably modelling in Blender. After that, making the monster, finishing stuff up, and I have some other cool things, but I'm not telling you because I'm mean. And again, I'm playing around with the tree branches. Like, you can see the reason why I speed this up. Like, this is 2x speed, and I don't think you really want to sit through it and 1x speed, because it's not that much. And in case you're wondering, don't do it this way. Do it, watch a tutorial and do it. And I would recommend making around 3 different types of trees, so that when you brush across it doesn't look all weird. But that's subject to you. You can do whatever you want. If you want only one type of tree, and by types of trees I don't mean like spruce, acacia, I mean like different branch formations. And this is me trying to figure out how to get it into the brush thing. So you need to make a prefab, so I make a prefab. Prefabs are just dragging it in, and that means I can drag the tree out. Anyway, I close it, and because I didn't notice the ad, I'm like, where's the tree? The tree was not there. So refresh, because it shows there button. I'm like, oh, that's how it works. No, it doesn't. You drag here, and then you look. I looked around, and there's actually an ad button down there. Anyway, now that that's done, you can paint across trees, and I thought this was really cool. Like, this is pretty nice. Now you can see them tightly packed. That's all stuff you can change, like tree density. You can see it down there. But for the most part, like, this works how you want it. Obviously, there's ways of changing the rotation, because currently the trees are all behaving like sunflowers and facing one certain way. Although they are not facing towards the sun, like a sunflower. Anyway, with that should be the end of the video. Bye-bye.